New Zealand King Salmon, Henry Bates 1134386. New Zealand has farmed salmon in its waters since around the 1970s and has become an export product for New Zealand. The salmon that are farmed in New Zealand are called king salmon, but also known as Chinook or quinnet salmon. This breed of salmon excels in New Zealand fresh and salt waters. King salmon is a growing industry due to its high quality product being enjoyed overseas. This product can gain a premium price overseas due to New Zealand's portrayed clean green image. Many regulations are enforced to New Zealand salmon farms to ensure limited impact to the environment to create this portrayed image to be true. There are 4 main salmon farms in New Zealand that all produce New Zealand King salmon, all of which are based in fresh and seawater farms. King salmon is a very healthy and tasty product that can be a luxury meal or a staple of some people's diets. The salmon meat is rich in omega-3 and is very high in monounsaturated fats and a great source of protein. New Zealand King salmon can be served in many ways, such as raw, smoked, or just cooked. In this presentation, I will outline the supply chain of New Zealand King salmon's regulatory influences and talk about more in depth of 2 significant regulatory influences, which are Listeria Management and the Resource Management Act. These regulatory influences are important in providing a safe and consistent product while having least impact to the environment. The Resource Management Act 1999 enforces many regulations that help biosecurity within New Zealand. The Resource Management Act is needed for marine farms to operate. The Resource Management Act also provides a set of regulations for New Zealand farms to follow in order to have the least amount of impact on their surrounding environment. The Resource Management Act states, the purpose of this act is to promote a sustainable management of a natural or physical resource, the resource being the body of water being farmed. Once resort consent is gained, the council which the farm is located will govern this regulation. The Resource Management Act will allow for an area of water that the farm cannot extend. This provides a regulation to stop salmon farmers to become too big and therefore dominating the environment. The Resource Management Act also has regulations about effect, meaning that anything done to the body of water can have no temporary or permanent effect or have the possibility to give future effect on the area given. This means salmon farmers have to monitor their environment carefully to ensure they are not causing any effect to their environment. The Resource Management Act is an important regulation for New Zealand salmon farmers, as without consent they cannot farm. Challenges that New Zealand salmon farmers may face when abiding to the Resource Management Act is the expense of monitoring their environment or purchasing resources to manage it. Doing this can take time. However, it is important for the Resource Management Act to be followed as it upkeeps the clean green image that creates New Zealand King salmon to gain their premium price. Listeria is a life-threatening bacteria. MPI have implemented in 2008 to 2015 the risk management strategy. It states, the object of this strategy is to estimate the proportion of cases of Listerious attributes to food and identify and implement and evaluate the effective control measures. Listeria is commonly found in salmon. However, Listeria is a problem because the product is mostly consumed partly raw. Listeria pathogens are killed at 77 degrees Celsius. Cold smoked or raw salmon has not gone through any heat processes, therefore Listeria can still be present to the consumer. Regulations surrounding Listeria when processing salmon are strict and enforced by MPI. Listeria is a bacteria that is everywhere. It can be found in soils, dairy or eggs. The problem is to manage it and reduce it from forming too much in food. MPI implements batch testing and testing of equipment and employees in other places where it may not be routine. This regulation is put in place for testing, and the testing has to be 5 nanograms per 100 commonly formed units, and this is where the bacteria of the Listeria will not grow. This is a command regulation set by the government. The regulation is a public good issued by government in order for the public's best interest. In conclusion, the New Zealand King Salmon industry is full of positive regulations and legislations that help form the economic and sustainable industry in which it is. The regulations are followed, the final product becomes consistent, meaning the consumer gains trust off the producer. This is the beauty of New Zealand food safety system, and is why all consumers hardly ask any questions before consuming a New Zealand food product. Negatives that surround these regulations are the cost to New Zealand King Salmon producers, as these regulations can be expensive to upkeep and to check and implement into a supply chain. Nevertheless, the consumer stakeholder expects a safe, consistent and expected product for any New Zealand King Salmon producer. If this expectation is not met, the consumer will not purchase the product. Therefore, this directly relates back to the stakeholder of the New Zealand King Salmon producer, as without purchase of their product will no longer be viable to any consumer across the world. Thank you.